Shalom, friends. Welcome back to Jewish Lore Reactions. Will the real King Solomon please stand up? Part 2. King Solomon is hurtling through the air. It's a bird, it's a plane. It's King Solomon. Ashmodai had finally put him in his place, which in this case was the bottom of an impact crater 400 miles away from Jerusalem. Solomon did manage to survive, his fall cushioned somewhat by his rapidly deflating ego. He lays there for a while just thinking, this is gonna ruin the tour. He gets up and wanders the streets for help. Please, you have to help me. I'm King Solomon. I have to get back to the palace. But no one believes this random, windswept, clearly Delulu man. And why would they? When King Solomon is not missing. He's right where he belongs. In Jerusalem. On the throne. Remember last episode when I said don't swerve into the lane of a demon if you don't want them swerving the fuck back into yours? Yeah. Ashmodai has been abducted from his own kingdom by King Solomon and just got pushed too fucking far. So he has indeed pulled a Loki from the end credit sequence of Thor the Dark World, and wearing the appearance of King Solomon, he has indeed
usurped the throne.
The only way that anyone could have possibly told that he was indeed the king of the demons was that, like all demons, he had chicken feet, but he always made sure to wear socks so that nobody could see. After begging door to door, Solomon, a very bedraggled Solomon, finally makes it to the Sanhedrin, the supreme court of rabbinic sages. He is so vehement about who he is that the sages, in their wisdom and their authorship of this story, think that maybe instead of him being on something, he might just be on to something. They ask Benyahu if the king has been, acting weird recently or anything. And he says, well, the king is absolutely crushing it on a governance level, but the women of the harem report, and these are their words verbatim, that the king will now only fuck with socks on. Also, he apparently tried to sleep with his own mother. So either he had a break with reality or that's not King Solomon. The Sanhedrin move on this ASAP. They get Solomon another ring with God's name on it and another chain, I guess from Amazon Prime. Or maybe Elijah the prophet just had backups lying around. Solomon goes to confront Ashmodai in the palace, but Ashmodai just slides right on out of there on his besocked chicken feet while flipping off Solomon.
Bye, dumbass.
Solomon retakes the Davidic throne and his rightful place as king. Yet because of the fear he had of Ashmodai, because of this trauma for the rest of his life, King Solomon would never go to sleep without being surrounded by armed guards. I don't really know what he thought they were gonna do. The tellers of the story, the rabbinic sages, are certainly critiquing Solomon's behavior. They paint a picture of him that is far and away inferior to Ashmodai by every conceivable metric. And this is very different from Solomon's usual depiction in Jewish lore, as we will see. In this tale, his legendary wisdom is nowhere to be found. Perhaps it was these events that made him wise. He was king. Then Ashmodai forced him to become a commoner, where he walked among his subjects, learning how they lived. And then when he became a king again, he was able to rule with better judgment. Or one sage in the Talmud presents an alternative possibility. Solomon was king, and he did become a commoner, but he never actually managed to become king again. So what if the wise king we think of when we think of Solomon was really wise because it wasn't Solomon?
Because he was really Ashmodai.
Choose your own adventure. And tune into the next episode where the lore gets even juicier. What if Solomon and Ashmodai were actually half-brothers?